Good evening and welcome to the Haines Total Healthcare Coaches Call-In Show presented by Southern Ohio Sports Authority and Ohio Health. As always, we thank Glow Fiber for providing internet access for tonight's show as we are now live in the Chillicothe Sports Card Studio. My name is John Bruce, along with my co-host Matt Hoops. We got Christian Spradlin producing the show, I assume. Are we good? Let's go! 1 for 1 on coming out of our break. That's all that matters. So right to my left is former Unioto great, current Findlay Oiler great.
Yeah.
Keegan Snyder and Dr. Elijah Green. We welcome you guys in. Dr. Green from the Haines Total Healthcare Center and Keegan Snyder. If you watched any baseball at all over the last 4 years, especially Unioto baseball, you saw him catching. Did you have, was it one game off? In 4 years?
Well, 2 innings, actually. Not really a game, but yeah.
Yeah, we had a freshman start catcher the year before, and then he comes in and we got to play Ashton other places. So Keegan, outstanding high school career. You know, I kind of jokingly said out there, you play the easiest position in sports as a catcher, and you're doing it all the time. You know, we'll just jump right into the chiropractic part of this. How much did that help you with catching as much as you did, as many innings as you did? Just how valuable was it for you to have the chiropractic care of the Haines Total Healthcare Center?
Well, it just helps me stay out of pain. You know, I've been going to Haines since I was 4 years old, and that's part of the reason why I have healthy knees and why I'm able to stay healthy without getting injured throughout my whole career. And I'm still not injured, knock on wood. But
yeah, I don't know if this is real wood or not. But yeah, so going there, how often would you go?
Once a week during season, but out of season, probably once every 2 or 3 weeks.
Okay. So with, if you don't know baseball, softball, it is the most difficult position because you're involved in every pitch,
yeah, exactly.
every play, and then also on the chances that there's close plays at the plate, you're probably going to get hit too.
Yeah,
so just as someone who put in the work, how valuable was it to stay healthy at all times?
I mean, if you don't stay healthy, you could be out for months and months at a time. I mean, one of my teammates, his junior year of high school, KB Perkins, he was hurt, and he lost an entire year of school, and he lost his recruiting process in that too. But being hurt it takes a toll on your body, and it takes a toll on your mind. So being able to stay healthy really helped me stay mentally focused, and I was able to just continue working.
Yeah, and then Matt, you played college baseball as well, and you were a catcher at one point. Then you were fortunate, right?
Yeah, I mean, like I was talking to you guys out there, catching is a difficult thing. And I love doing it, just like Keegan or John, you just talked about with Keegan being involved in every play. But when I got to high school, there was a senior catcher who was a really good catcher, so obviously I wasn't going to do that. But it kind of just depended on who pitched, depending on where I played from that point on. And then my sophomore year, we had a kid move in that he only caught, so he was able to do that, and I was able to do some other things. Now my senior year, I caught a little bit again, just basically out of need. But yeah, I know being a catcher, not only just, the different, foul tips and foul balls that hit you and things like that, but just being in that stance for the entire game it's not a natural thing. And obviously chiropractic care is beneficial to someone like that. So,
I mean, another thing that they've helped me with, they have a physical therapy program as well. The end of my sophomore year in the fall, I came off the field, my shoulder was killing me, and then I went out to Cassie, who said that my shoulder was very weak, and then I was able to take a couple months off and go through their physical therapy program, and it brought my shoulder back like it never hurt.
And that's one of the big things with the Haines the Haines Total Healthcare Center. So you whenever you hear the Haines name, sometimes you just think chiropractic, but it is the whole body, and you can do your whole health and whatnot. So, Dr. Green, what are some of the important parts of taking care of the entire body when it comes to a sport like that? I know your sport was very physical as well. So when you're looking at the entire body,
I mean, so with like injuries and such like that, just being on the field is the most important thing. Like with what Keegan was saying, so he's using his mind because he's calling a lot of the pitches. He's thinking of where he's throwing the ball, making sure his muscles are working optimally, making sure he's out of pain so he can play the best he can. We talked about physical therapy. We talked about the chiropractic aspect. And I also brought in a little bit of the nutrition. So you'll see 3 bullet points underneath Haines Total Healthcare: chiropractic, physical therapy, and nutrition. And in the spirit of Christmas, which happened this past week, we brought in a little bit of a nutritional gift for Keegan. So
All right.
if you want to open up a couple of these, we can talk about this fun stuff. Now, I take all 4 of these pretty much every day. So
Now-
one at a time, nice and easy.
Now you mentioned
Now-
Christmas. There's probably some sort of holiday going on right now, so we'll go.
Any holiday.
Yeah,
any
some sort of
involving
holiday.
gifts.
Yes.
Yeah. So I'm not saying that Brandon Haines is Santa Claus, but I've never seen him and Santa in the same room. I will say that much. So
I mean, and there might be a reason why Lucas is learning to fly.
we got Easy Mag. Easy Mag to the camera there. It's beautiful.
Hold it up,
Beautiful
Keegan. There you
supplement. So magnesium is excellent for just overall muscle health as well. It's used in a bunch of different processes in the body. So it helps convert the food that you eat into ATP or just energy. So it's going to increase energy. It's involved in muscle contraction and relaxation. So I'll have that with a lot of people who are suffering from spasms, cramps, muscle twitches, and such like that. Really great for headaches, great for sleep. But yeah, that's just one of the best supplements that I recommend to the majority of my patients there. Helps with stress, anxiety, and
That sounds
increases
like
cognitive
it sounds
benefit.
really good overall.
It's used in a ton of different processes in the body. It covers a lot of bases. So I take that myself, and it's pretty much on my recommendations for basically every patient that comes in. It's great. Next up, it's like an ASMR with a gift opening today. Cataplex D. So that's just vitamin D. Has a little bit of what is that? Calcium in there as well. So whenever people think of vitamin D, they think of bone health. It's kind of like the go-to. People talk about milk and everything like that with vitamin D. But it's also good for regulating mood. It's also good for boosting immune response. Also beneficial for decreasing inflammation as well. Especially during these winter months, sun's not out very much, which is another way we absorb and get our vitamin D. But during these winter months, it's important to really supplement with that. About 40 to 60% of Americans are deficient in both of these, depending on whose guidelines that you're using, both magnesium and vitamin D. So it's very beneficial to be taking both of those. So yeah,
And you can find all of these supplements at
Haines Total
Haines
Healthcare.
Total. Yeah.
You notice all these are standard process
Yes.
supplements as well. I'll talk a little bit more about that in a bit. What do we got? Glucosamine Synergy. So this is really beneficial for you with Mr. Catcher's knees over here. So glucosamine is one of the main building blocks in cartilage. So it helps with joint deterioration, helps with feelings of decreasing joint stiffness. Also just good for maintaining joint mobility and everything like that. So it's good for repetitive stress, like what Keegan's doing with his knees. And it's just really beneficial for helping maintain what you got if you have any kind of joint deterioration. So, yeah.
Take the big one for last. Oh, wait.
Yeah. Always the big one for last.
Or you go first, and then you just run the rest of it. You're
Yeah,
like,
everything
there's
else
no more
doesn't
good
live up
gifts.
to the hype.
Yeah.
What do we got? Cod liver oil. So it's a fish oil supplement. We have both cod liver oil and tuna omegas. Both of those are fish oil supplements that Santa Process has that we both carry. Cod liver is more so for the winter months because that also has a little bit of vitamin D as well. I love fish oil supplements because it has a ton of EPAs and DHAs, which are just omega-3 fatty acids. Really good for brain health, brain development in children and teenagers, and then also helping maintain what you got as you age with brain health. Helps with hormone balances and regulation, helps with blood pressure and just general heart cardiovascular health. But yeah, what's really great about those 4 supplements in conjunction with each other is they all kind of work together to help each other accomplish the things that they're trying to do in the body.
That was going to be my question was like, do you guys have a way of knowing like what's best to take together, or is it just kind of like you just...
A lot of times when you're taking a vitamin D supplement, you want to also be taking magnesium with it because magnesium helps with like the absorption of vitamin D. So there's some of that. Another thing I did not mention with the glucosamine, Standard Process, like their oldest supplement is called Callihan, which is just their multivitamin, helps bridge nutritional gaps in the diet and everything. Glucosamine has Callihan in it, so it's kind of a 2-for-1. kind of thing. So you're helping. So there's the Catalin in there helping absorb with all those other supplements as well. So yeah.
Yeah, so all of these are at the Haines-Stoll Healthcare Center. So you can, obviously, we talk about your whole body, but you mentioned nutrition, very important.
Yeah, very, very important. I mean, we can do all we can for you while you're in the office, but if you're not taking care of yourself while you're out of the office
You have
with
to eat well.
eating
That's
well,
a very big thing.
exercise, everything like that, then you're just going to be seeing us nonstop, constantly, very short periods in between.
So you're telling me, like, next time you guys come in, our refrigerator over there should not just have sodas.
You told me you had old salad in there.
There's old salads. I don't know whose they are.
Okay.
So
I don't know if I'd eat the
I
old
don't know if I'm
salad.
going to either.
But salad is good. It's a good start.
Yes.
Just maybe fresh salad.
Yeah, fresh salad would be much better. So,
Yeah.
just kind of, let's jump back into baseball a little bit. So, you're a big hitter also. So, sometimes whenever you think catchers, you don't necessarily think of someone as a hitter. So, whenever you're going through your workouts and whatnot, how important is it to be in the best possible shape so you can be the two-way player? Because when people are playing against Unioto, they're not stealing, they're not moving up, you're not getting extra bases, but also on the offensive end, you're able to make a big impact as well.
I mean, it's just mobility, like he was saying earlier, like the joint kind of thing. Like you have to be able to move freely and be loose versus all tense and tight, which is going to a chiropractor keeps me loose, and I'm able to use my entire body to its fullest.
Let me ask you this, Keegan. Since you've been in college, how often have you been able to get to the chiropractor? I know you have athletic trainers there, and they take care of your body as well, but not on the same level as chiropractic care.
Well, luckily, Brandon found me one up there where I can get to at least once or twice a month. So, I mean, it's still hard for the schedule, but it's very important to still try and get in. And he's a very good chiropractor. Brandon set me up, sent him x-rays and stuff like that. So Brandon can also and Dr. Green can also do stuff like that. If you travel somewhere, they can give you things and set you up pretty well.
So, and this, I'll ask Dr. Green, so whenever you have a patient maybe moving or whatnot, how important is it for them to let you know? Because a lot of you guys go through similar backgrounds going through for college and whatnot. So then people and hey, they went here, we can trust them. Is that, how important is that?
Yeah, I usually tell people to find a Palmer chiropractor. There's been only one or two situations where I've actually hooked up one of my old pals from Palmer with one of my patients. That's been really cool to work in conjunction with my buddies. But Palmer College of chiropractor. We also burn copies of their x-rays onto a disc like Keegan had, take it to the chiropractors. They know what the heck they're looking at, and just kind of continuing what we're doing and making sure someone else is continuing to do what we do, and getting high-level care as we can as whenever you might be going, wherever you might be going.
So here's something I'd like to ask too. So we've talked to you about this a lot, but have you done dry needling?
Yeah, I have. I've done everything
wait,
just about
have I
everything they
needled you?
offer.
I can't remember.
Yeah, it was you.
Yeah.
When you did it,
yeah.
did you watch the needles go in the first time?
No.
Okay. Have you watched them go in since?
No.
Okay.
No. It's just easier if you don't watch the needles.
You
Don't
just
watch
lay
the
down
needles.
and they just...
Yeah, especially if
it's
it's on the
just-
back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I think you've dry needled me before, and you're pretty good at saying, okay, you'll describe the length of the different types of needles that will.
Yeah.
Well,
They're
maybe
about
not
to
right
go.
before I stick them in, but
I
after
actually-
I pull them out, I'll be like, hey, you want to see how
This is
long
how.
this
Yeah,
needle
that's
was?
what I was gonna
Now
say.
that
It
it's
was
out again.
afterwards.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's. I mean, I don't know. I've done it. You've done it to me. Cassie's done it.
Mhm.
How have your responses
They
been?
were good. They were good.
Results.
It's just it's just kind of almost mind blowing to think about how something like that is going to have such a huge impact on you. It's and they were on the bottom of my feet, so like that's not
That's not a very fun
right.
area to get
But
needled.
But it works, and
Forgot about your feet.
I always say if you're in pain now, the pain that you're going to go through to get the results that you need, it's well worth it.
Yeah, 100%. So, Matt, you just drove to Texas and back. So how was your trip? And second, how was Dr. Haines before and after?
Remember, I told you guys it was a Wednesday night. I was going to see Brandon before I left, just because I knew what was ahead of me, and I drove through the worst rainstorm ever that Thursday evening. After I saw Brandon that afternoon. So basically, he got me right, and then 6 hours later, I needed him again. And then driving back, I think I called Ashley about halfway back and said, hey, I need to see Dr. Brandon tomorrow, and obviously got right in and was good for the holidays back here in Chillicothe. But, yeah, it's a huge part of, just feeling good, and I highly recommend it.
So, Keegan, freshman, Well, actually, before that, we'll go to this first. As a freshman, you're competing, right? So, how has that gone? Because I just want to know about you a little bit as well. So, how is that competition going, and how's the catcher's room up there at Findlay?
I mean, it's going great so far. I mean, currently, what I was told, it's between me and a sophomore for game 1 as of right now. I mean, going up there, I was a little bit nervous the first game, but my second game, I hit a grand slam on a 2-2 pitch, and I lost all nervousness after that. And it was just, the guys are pretty cool up there, and the coaches are great. I mean, once you settle in, it's really not as bad as people make it seem, but it is a job up there. I mean, it makes you question your love for the sport. So, I mean, it's more of a job. It honestly is. And people are going to continue to. You're going to feel right at home when you keep hitting dingers, obviously. But, one of the things that I wanted to ask you about, and you haven't been able to experience it yet because you're not to the end of the school year. As a college baseball player, I can remember you get there, you have fall ball, of course, and then you go right into winter workouts, and then the season starts. So, to me, I feel like being a spring athlete as a college athlete is one of the most difficult things, because it literally is the entire time that you're there. You arrive on campus, you start fall baseball. That takes up basically the whole first semester. It's a grind. It is a grind, and baseball, is one of those sports that is fairly slow moving. I mean, it takes a toll on you mentally. I think that was one of the biggest adjustments I had to make, was realizing, how much I do or don't love this game, because it is a lot. And I just wanted to kind of get your opinion if you've kind of felt that so far this semester. I mean, you don't get very many days off. I mean, most days we got a day off because it was required for us to have a day off per NCAA. But we had Fridays and Saturdays off, but Sunday mornings we just went right back into a scrimmage. I mean, it's 6 or 7 days a week.
Yep.
I mean, in the winter, we're not going to have any time off at all. I mean, it's practice every single day, even 5 a.m. workouts, and it makes you question it. But once the season starts around, it's worth it.
Well, that's the other thing too, is especially with baseball, you've got to get so many games in, and there's only a few amount of days. So once the games start, then obviously it's a little bit, it's more fun for sure. But it takes a while to get to that fun in terms of the process of fall and winter, and then into your spring season.
I bet it would be so much more fun if it was warm all the time.
Well,
I guarantee it's more fun to play
that's
down
why
there.
we're going to North Carolina the first 2 weeks. It's too cold up there for.
Yeah, I was going to ask
play baseball.
How far south you guys were going. So North Carolina.
That's the first week, and then for some reason we're going to Illinois. It's just going to be freezing cold and windy.
Yeah, it's going to be bad.
Yeah. But at least you get to get some games in, and
right?
It was
almost like a terrible trick, because we would go to Florida, and it's just you're just playing baseball, and you didn't have to worry about anything. And then I played in Northern Ohio as well, at Ashland for a year, and Valparaiso in Northern Indiana for a year, which both were just freezing cold the whole season. And to start out when it's warm, and it's spring now in Ohio. Well, spring in Ohio is still cold, and it's a big adjustment. I know that.
Mm-hmm. And then, we've had kids on before that are, going through their season. We haven't really talked a lot in the postseason. So now that you're away from the postseason, and I know, actually, I can probably speak for all of us in here. We were super proud of you guys, getting to the state tournament. Can you just tell us a little bit about that experience, how much fun it was? And, because it was very senior heavy. Yeah. Obviously, you guys had some really big impact, but offensively, you guys all made a big impact in that. Yeah. But how much fun was that, just to be kind of part of history at Unioto?
Oh, I mean, it was great. I mean, the thing about it is it's so nerve-wracking that you don't even know you're nervous. Your adrenaline's through the roof, and you step up to the plate around. You're in a state semifinal, and you got a bunch of people watching you, and then scouts behind you. There's nothing better than it. all the pressure and the, just playing at the higher level. I mean,
That's why you do it.
yeah, of
Because you want
course.
those. Yeah. And that's with like, these kids, whenever we're at different games and you see some kids step up big time in those moments. One of them, like a Jack Welch, had the really big game last night over at the Unioto Chillicothe game. And probably some of that probably helped from playing, for him in the playoffs with you guys in the state tournament. That's what makes great athletes.
He's not as nervous anymore. He's used to the pressure.
Yeah.
That definitely helps. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So, are you excited to finally, like, once you get outside, how nice is it going to be to just get outside all the time instead of being inside?
Instead of hitting a cage inside, it's going to be great. Not having to see a white ball behind a white wall coming at me at 94 miles an hour. It's going to be great outside.
No. Now, I will say, it's not done yet, so I won't take you into the dugout yet. We got a gray wall. There's no white wall in there for the cages. So, excited for that to open up as well. So Dr. Green, real quick, how was the holiday?
It was excellent.
Excellent. Did you go to Bellefontaine?
Yeah, I did go to Bellefontaine.
Yeah, so I went to Bellefontaine.
Christmas Day.
Yeah, so
It was excellent.
yeah, so what are the hours during the holiday season at the Haines Healthcare Center?
So for Christmas Eve, we did a half day, and then Christmas Day we had off. And then upwards, or looking forward to this week, we have New Year's Eve, we're open until 4, and then New Year's Day off, and then we're just back to hitting it hard into 2026.
All right,
We're looking
so
forward to it.
yeah, if you need to get in the Haines Total Healthcare Center, just make a call. They are great. Like the staff up front is outstanding, and then the doctors and just everybody you can work with has been outstanding in my experience there, and I'm sure Coach Hoops will say the same thing. And obviously, I think Keegan will as well. So, Haines Total Healthcare Center, great. We appreciate them as a sponsor, but we also appreciate all they do for the community and the students around as well. So
We're happy to do it.
yeah. So we are going to take a short break, but then when we come back, we'll have some coaches on the line. You are watching the Haines Total Healthcare Coaches Call-In Show. Welcome back to the Haines Soil Healthcare Coaches Call-In Show presented by Southern Ohio Sports Authority and Ohio Health. We are once again live in the Chillicothe Sports Card studio. Now joining us on the Edward Jones Coaches Hotline is Coach Evan Callihan from Circleville. How are you doing tonight, Coach?
I'm good. How are you guys doing?
Oh, we're doing well. It's just enjoying a nice Sunday. I just opened the door for our guests. And I was like, man, it is warmer outside than it is in our studio.
70 degrees when I was driving here.
Yeah, how's the weather up north?
It feels warm today. I think the temperature's going to drop about 50 degrees by the time we practice tomorrow morning, so it's going to change quick.
Yeah, I think that probably goes into the Christmas season a little bit, I guess. So just jumping onto your guys' season so far, 6-2 start, very senior heavy team, but can you tell us a little bit about your season so far? It seems like a really nice start to the season.
Yeah, we're off to a good start. I mean, looking back from last year, one of the big keys for us as a coaching staff to our players was consistency. Felt like last year we took some steps forward, but there were still some games that, when people looked at the score, they're probably scratching their head like, how did that happen? So, talking with our seniors heading into this year, consistency has been our big thing. And, with the way the Mid-State League is this year, I mean, we've told our guys that, on any given night, anybody can really win. I mean, I think that we've played 4 Mid-State League games. Everyone's played at least 4, and everyone has at least one loss.
Mm-hmm.
So, you got to show up each and every night in our league, and our non-league schedule is pretty tough this year, which is kind of what we wanted. We feel like, the teams that advance in the tournament that do pretty well, what I've found in the years past is they've been battle tested in the season. I mean, I look at like New Lex last year, they won the district, and I think they had 10 losses going into tournament play. But, those 10 teams that they lost to, a lot of other teams would lose to as well. So, I feel like they were battle tested throughout the season. So, we're off to a decent start. I think that, we're big on defense. That's been since day one 2 years ago. That's what we try to really emphasize program wide. Now as we're going through, defense has helped us a lot, but we're trying to focus a little bit more offensively here over the break right now. We know we got to get a little bit better offensively as we go down the stretch here.
Coach, talk about some of your guys that have kind of gotten you off to that more consistent start.
Yeah, first, I mean, it starts with our point guard, Cole Nungaster. I mean, he's such a, blessing to have as a coach. I mean, he makes me look good night in and night out. He just plays with a lot of poise. He's kind of the quarterback of our team. And, he's someone that offensively, if he's not scoring, I mean, he's the one, directing the ship. And he leads our team in assists. And, as a point guard, his assist to turnover ratio is really good. I mean, he's got, I think, 14 or 15 more assists and turnovers. And when the ball is in your hands a lot, that's a pretty good stat for him. And he has been doing a lot of scoring for us of late as well. So he's someone that, we play a lot on the perimeter, but we also, as a guard, he's a little bit taller and stronger. So we throw him in the post. So he's helped a lot. One of our seniors, Jack Klein, has had a great year for us. I feel like he's really made huge strides for us on both ends of the floor. I mean, he's the guy that, we put on the best team's offensive player every night. He embraces that role. He accepts it. He's been scoring, a lot more for us. I think he averages about 8 or 9 points a game. So his offense is coming along there a little bit. Riley Jenkins, one of our seniors, he plays the 4 for us, sometimes the 5, but he's someone that can go inside and out. Gives us a lot of strength inside. And, he's someone that puts a lot of time in. He's one of our, I would say, our sharpshooters. We don't really shoot the 3 that well as a team. He's the one that does for us. So he's been great inside for us and on the perimeter. Ed Kirk, he gives us a lot of length inside. And then Arey Travis is a senior, comes off the bench for us as a post. And some of our juniors that play, Blaine Fowler, he gets a lot of minutes. He's grown a lot, maturity-wise and physically, and he's someone that scores about 8 points a game for us. And then we have Glavin Bigham and Kaiser Cassidy. Those two are almost a mirror of each other. They do a lot defensively for us, and they're kind of the bulldogs for us out there. They just kind of do a lot of the dirty work. So, we try to tell our guys that consistency comes from the things that we can control. And, that's our toughness, defense. That's what we can control night in and night out. I know as a team right now, I think we're averaging giving up 39 points a game so far, which I'm saying that, but the team that's next on our schedule, it's going to be very hard to keep them under 40. So I'll probably jinxing me even bringing that up, but I know that's not going to be easy to maintain that throughout the rest of the season.
Well, when you started naming off the players, most of it was either guys that I remember watching for the last couple of years on varsity, or names from other sports as well, or both,
Yeah.
really. And that has to help overall in the the athleticism of the team, but also the ability to win, is when you've got guys that have excelled at different sports as well. So can you talk about how that's kind of carried over? Because I know you had a new football coach that best season in a long time, and then baseball's been outstanding for a long time there.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, baseball. A lot of our guys, that have played baseball. Baseball here at Circleville has always been pretty solid. Every single one of our guys that I mentioned there, except maybe one or two, either played football or was on the baseball team. And, we think at a school like Circleville and like a lot of schools in the Southeast area, we got to have guys play multiple sports for us to be successful. And, a lot of those guys coming in from football, you can see, a lot of their leadership has grown, as seniors, a lot of those qualities that they've got from, Coach Sheridan football. One of the big things that has really benefited us as a basketball program, is the weight room of football. That's one thing, we're big believers in with basketball is, I feel like in high school basketball around here, usually the most talented team wins, but usually the most talented team I feel like is usually the strongest physical team physically too. So, those things are really what we're trying to get with our program. So, we're big believers that, we want winners that from other sports playing for us. We feel like that stuff transfers over for sure.
Coach, you mentioned the next team that you have coming up on your schedule. Can you get into that a little bit and talk about why that's such a good game for you guys to play?
Yeah, Miami Trace. Coach Ackley, he's somebody that he does such a great job over there, and how far that program's come on the boys' side. Actually, when I was on the girls' side up here forever, we had battles with their girls teams there at Miami Trace. Felt like it was us or Miami Trace, battling it out each year. And he does a great job, and I like to pick his brain a lot. He's someone that I actually call and talk to and keep tabs on a lot. And very talented team. I think I've seen about every game of their season on Huddle, and went and watched them play London last night. And it's great for our guys to have to play a team like that. That's a team that everyone talks about trying to stop Guthrie, and I'm sitting there watching last night, and I'm like, well, They've got about 62 points. And I look up at the scoreboard, and Guthrie has 8 points. So there's a lot of other guys that you got to stop too. That point guard over there, the Bowers kid. He's one of the best point guards I've seen play this year. And those guys, the supporting cast around them, they can all knock down the three. They've got some length. They rebound well. So for us, that's going to be a great test for our guys. I look forward to that challenge. I try to get our guys to understand you want to face those challenges, because if you want to do something special, you got to be able to compete with teams like that. So that's kind of what we're trying to challenge our guys. I feel like we're probably good right now, but it's hard to be great. It's hard to be great. It's hard to compete for league titles, and it's hard to compete for district titles. So we're trying to challenge our guys to embrace the challenges along the way, because we have several of them the second half of our season here, starting on Saturday, Miami Trace.
Well, it's like you've already mentioned your league. It's one of the best leagues around, obviously. But I just think it's such a good idea for you guys to play someone, especially if you have high aspirations. And not every year you can say that you want to be a district title contender. The fact of the matter is, it's really not every year that you have those opportunities. Those come around every few years, and to be able to play a team like that over the holiday break, or close to at the beginning of January, I think it's a really good measuring stick, especially because Miami Trace is a senior laden team. You mentioned the sophomore point guard, but those guys have played for a long time and had a lot of success, and it just lets you know where you are. Obviously, the goal is to win the game, but to have an honest measuring stick to say, hey, this is where we are right now, and we have over half the year to improve on these things and get better. And if you win the game, that just adds to your confidence. So I just think it's a win-win for you guys no matter what.
Yeah, I definitely think so too. It's we have Miami Trace Saturday, and then we go into a lot of league games. We still got to play Fairfield Union twice, who's a really good team in our league and in our district. Bloom Carroll, we were very fortunate to squeak by them. In the first game, they got a lot of talent. They're only going to get better. I think when people saw the first quarter score of that game. I thought it was a typo. We were up 4-2. It was a very defensive battle.
Hey, you want to be up 4-2 instead of down 4-2, right?
Yeah, right. So Hamilton, I know that they're without their stud. I mean, but they've got some other studs too. And, we struggled up there, and they got us when we went up to their place. And Logan Elms clicking on all cylinders. And then we go to Unioto. That's one of our last games of the season. So, going into the tournament, I think that'll be a great environment for our kids to play in. I always, get a little envious with just how, those atmospheres that Ross County brings with high school basketball. I mean, just kind of watching that game on my phone last night as I'm scouting Miami Trace, just, seeing how cool that is. Just, that gym was packed, for the freshman game. Just I'm sitting there thinking like that. Wow, how cool, for those freshmen from Chillicothe and Unioto last night playing in front of that packed house. I mean, just a great environment. So I think, going on the road to Unioto at the end of the year will be a great test for our guys as well.
Yeah, it's always good to challenge yourselves, especially closer to the tournament as well. So it's like, as Coach Hoops said, those measuring sticks throughout the year, because you can use what you're going to have on Saturday to just get better throughout the season, and then you can use it closer to the tournament time as well. So one of the things that I kind of wish we had you on last week, because it was going into this. So Coach coached it Westfall for a couple of years. I coached at Westfall for baseball for a long time. You've been around Circleville. You played there. You've coached there.
Yep.
Can you talk about just the Brad Morris Classic, what you guys were able to do? I know we had great experiences with Brad.
Right.
One of those really good guys. Can you just talk about what the coaches and schools have been able to do in Pickaway County? Because it's a really cool thing you guys have been able to do.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think that thing is such a great event to honor Brad Morris and his family. I always say, just from coaching, sports around here at Circleville, when you talk to Brad Morris, he did such a great job of recognizing our high school student athletes. And, you really felt like, if you had some success or if you went on a tournament run, I mean, you felt like the king of the castle when he was interviewing you, because he just made you feel that important. And, and he always treated every school the same. I know deep down, he's a Logan Elm brave at heart. I mean, that's where he went to school. And, but when he was covering our Circleville games, you got his utmost respect, and he made you sound a lot. We always joke as coaches here at Circleville, he always made us sound a lot smarter than what we actually are when he would quote us. So just a great guy, real down to earth and easy to talk to. And that's just a great event for our girls programs up here in the county and our boys programs. And I know for us this year, that's two emotional games for us here at Circleville. I know Taze Valley's not in our league anymore, but that's still just a big rivalry historically for us. And we were fortunate to get them last year, and I knew going over there this year, I mean, that place was packed, and we came up on the short end over there. And then Westfall is always an emotional game for us too. You're talking about a crosstown rival. All the kids, the players know each other, and you're playing for some bragging rights there for a year. So it's a really cool event. The gym's always packed. It gets our guys in a pretty neat environment. So, but more importantly, it honors a great guy in Brad, and he's someone that we miss dearly up here in Pickaway County.
Yeah, we completely share that sentiment as well. So we appreciate that you guys have been able to do that for the last couple of years. And Coach, we appreciate you calling in. We will actually see you on Saturday. We'll have the live stream of that game over at Miami Trace. So looking forward to seeing you guys and taking that challenge on Saturday night. And we look forward to catching back up with you a little bit later in the season as well.
Sounds good. Thanks, guys. Have a happy New Year.
You too, Coach.
You too.
Thank you. Yeah, my first interview as a coach was with Brad, and it was like Coach Callihan said, it's like you felt really important.
Yeah, and I had those 2 years at Westfall, and he was at a lot of our games, and I feel like that was when he was really first getting started there in the what was it, 2005, 6, 7 era. But just a really good guy, and anytime there was a big game, you would see him there, and. It's great for the Pickaway County community to continue to honor him and have those really good rivalry games again over the holiday break.
Yeah, that were kind of away for a little bit, because especially when Taze left the league.
Right.
So now you still get a chance for them to play. So now joining us on the Edward Jones Coaches Hotline from Adena, Coach Greg Newland. How you doing tonight, Coach?
Hey, pretty good. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thank you, Coach, for coming on. We appreciate you doing so on a Sunday evening. So, how's your holiday season been so far?
Oh, it's been good. It's been busy, but as it should be. So I've been enjoying it.
Yeah, this is so. I know you've been in the program a long time, but this is the first year as the head coach. So how kind of I know you guys you didn't really have any favors to start, especially with Sheridan in that second game. But how's that tough schedule been, and how have you adjusted to that first year as the head man in charge?
Yeah, I've been lucky enough to be a part of this program for a little while and see a guy in Coach Day do a really good job at it. So that's all, I think, working for me. This season, with the start of it being what it was, it's a good challenge. I think it's all in how we look at it, and obviously didn't have some of the results that we were hoping for, but I think it's just about kind of using those experiences to kind of prepare you for if you're in those spots again. And I think our players have responded pretty well to it, and they seem to react okay when we bounce back and get into practice, and we're just trying to grow from each of those.
Yeah, Coach, you already mentioned Coach Day early on there, but how nice is it to still have him in the same school and the same gym as you, to be able to continue that? I know a lot of times you can reach out to other coaches, text or a phone call, but just to be able to still see him and maybe bounce some things off of him.
Oh, yeah, like when this all started up, I knew I'd have a lot of questions, but he's probably answered more than he was even anticipating. So having him in the building just to kind of pop over and say, hey, what do you think about this? Or send him a message. It's been great to have.
Yeah, just being able to use that just makes things so much easier because, as as Coach Hoops knows, there's probably 50 things that you were preparing for, and then there's 50 more things that you didn't know you had to prepare for as a head coach. So just how much have you had to adjust to that, and then how much of the girls helped with, especially with having a player like a Marley coming back?
Oh, yeah, it's been a lot of figuring it out as I go along. I know when I decided to take this job that there's a lot of prepping that needed to happen prior, and so I was making lists and trying to check things off as I went along, and like I would be checking some stuff off and end up with 2 or 3 more things to throw on there, like you were saying. So that's all been a process, but I think I'm kind of learning a little bit more each day as I go along, and I think my team's kind of learning with me, and we're kind of in this process together. But it's a really fun group of kids, and they kind of approach the challenges that I give them with a really good attitude. And like you said, Marley, and we've got 2 other juniors, and Ava and Livy Farrell, who they just set a good example. And so with a group like that, it's easy to look forward to coming into practice time.
Yeah, Coach, talk about kind of what your guys' holiday break has looked like so far. Who have you played? Who do you have coming up?
Yeah, so we've got a few postponed games going to be in the schedule here coming up soon. I think we have Paint Valley tomorrow, and that one's going to be at home. We've got RCCA January 3rd, and then we've got another makeup game, and that one is Greenfield on January 5th. So decent sized break, but I think the snow kind of helped fill some gaps for us. So we're not sitting around too often, but we're trying to maximize the extra reps and practice time to maybe kind of fine tune some things and throw some wrinkles in if we can.
Well, and then it's not really easy with a couple of those teams on there because Paint Valley much improved over the last couple of years, and then that McClain team is outstanding as well. And then I know RCCA has got a 1,000-point scorer as well, so you get to go out and challenge yourselves as well. So that's got to help as you're getting ready for the second half of the year.
Definitely. You got to just make sure you're ready with the right mindset every time you step on the court. I think our group has been getting better as we go along this process and doing that. But I don't know, just kind of making sure we're building the habits in practice time and prepping for these talented teams like you mentioned.
Yeah, you mentioned that they're a fun group to be around. I saw the video you guys put out for like the Christmas stuff, and it just seems like it's a team that is just going to get better throughout the year because you can just tell they enjoy being around each other. So how valuable has that been to kind of the growth process, especially when it was kind of a slow start, even though you've picked up some wins here lately?
Oh, definitely. It makes things a whole lot easier. I think it makes the fun moments even more fun, but then I think it also if you have a group that's tight and they enjoy being around each other, it makes the challenging stuff a little bit more approachable. Like I know I can get on kids when we need to because they trust that I think we all are in each other's corner. And I don't know, the process of improving is a little bit, I don't know, straightforward in any way. And they know we're all invested in each other's growth as basketball players in the team.
Coach, do you think some of that has to do with you are such a familiar face for those girls since you've been there for a while now?
Yeah, I hope so. They've had to put up with me for a little bit now, but they're a good bunch of kids, and I've had several at the JV level and teaching over there. I see a lot of faces throughout the school day as well. So I'm lucky to be with this program because I know the kind of kids that we've got, and this area just has a bunch of really enjoyable athletes, and to be able to work with them on a regular basis is a really fun thing.
Yeah, and you've got a really, a fan base that really appreciates everything that the kids are putting in, the coaches are putting in. That has to make things a little bit easier as well. But, we talked about Marley and the Farrell sisters a little bit, but when I seen you guys in person, I was really impressed with Josie Mallow as well, only a freshman. Can you just talk about what she's been able to do and kind of matching her up with Marley and the Farrells?
Oh, it's been really impressive. She's been asked to do a lot as a freshman, getting tossed into this situation, but the way she handles herself and the way she responds to challenges is just something that's fun to watch because she doesn't get overly frustrated. She kind of just takes the coaching and tries to learn from those experiences. And whether it's going awesome or whether it's not going awesome, she kind of stays even keel. And I just think that's really impressive.
Yeah, that's a big growth from only a freshman. You don't see that a whole lot. Like I asked Derek that night, I was like, I was pretty sure she was a freshman, but I wasn't 100% sure just because of how she carried herself. So I think that does say a lot about her and what she's going to be able to do over the long haul for you guys. So, Coach, we appreciate you calling in, taking your time here on a Sunday night to call in, and we hope to hear from you again soon here and have a great holiday season.
Hey, absolutely. Thank you guys for having me. Really appreciate all you guys do for the area athletes.
Thank you, Coach. Have a good night.
You too.
Thanks,
Bye.
Coach.
Yeah, and it's I know when you came in as the varsity coach or for football, you had done it through the junior high level.
Mm-hmm.
But how valuable do you think that was for those kids to have already gone through some coaching with you and they kind of had an idea of what you're going to?
Yeah, it's just I just think the familiarity of it, just knowing what to expect. That just takes one thing off the learning curve, I think, as opposed to if you get someone brand new. A lot of times there are benefits to having someone brand new. You just need that change. But if you're trying to continue to build on an already successful program like Adena has, to be able to just have someone that's been there to kind of just close that gap and continue moving forward, I think that's huge.
Mm-hmm. I agree completely. So now joining us on the Edward Jones Coaches Hotline from Green, Coach Melissa Knapp. How are you doing tonight, Coach?
I'm doing great. How are you?
We're doing well. It's been a great start to your guys' season, 7-1. Your daughter Abby is going to go on and play at Marshall. We'll talk about her a little bit more, but can you tell us a little bit about your season so far? I know you guys started off with a loss to a really good Worthington Kilbourne team, but you've been very dominating outside of that.
Right, and the opportunity we had to play Worthington Kilbourne. That's the kind of games I'm looking for.
Mm-hmm.
And so I know we're taking a chance getting a loss. I don't care. Are you still there?
Yes.
Oh, sorry. I thought I lost.
No, you're good.
It's windy down here. I'm sorry. I'm like, oh, what's coming next? No tornado.
It's hope not.
Yeah, I know. But we started off with a trip to Worthington Kilbourne, and that was a great trip for us to get out of Southern Ohio, see what the rest of the state plays basketball like. Lost by 9. We were ahead in the third quarter with made about 2 points. So I was pleased with that, as pleased as you could be with a loss, and so then we've gone 7-0 since that as well. So 3-0 in the league. Our poor league, I'll tell you what, I'm going to say this, and it may be an unpopular opinion. I wish they'd put us back to 2 divisions. I do. That's just me. I mean, I'm not saying right, wrong, whatever, but
Hey,
we're 3-0 in the league. I'm just like, oh my gosh, are you kidding me? And poor East, I don't. they're having a team, but they're having a hard time having a team.
Mhm.
So, you don't really know until you get that. That'll be our next game after tomorrow. And we may not know until 4:30 the day of the game whether they're going to have enough to play or not. And I hate that for them. And I've been there before. I know that's stressful. But, man, I'm going to tell you what. But that's why I'm trying to up my schedule. So that's, if you look at our schedule, we've got some more tough ones to go. And so we'll just see what happens. It makes us better.
Coach, talk a little bit about that, because you don't very often hear of Green and Worthington Kilbourne in the same sentence.
Yes.
So
100%. I guarantee when those coaches were like, "What? Who are we playing?" What do you mean? And there's a Green in Northeast Ohio as well. So I'm sure it's like what? Franklin Furnace? What's that?
But just talk about that. About not only your girls, what they came away from that, but what kind of their mindset going into it, and then their mindset coming out of that.
Well, the mindset going into it was, what has Coach got us into?
Mm-hmm.
and our successful season last year, we were able to get some invites like that we've never had before. I mean, this is my 21st year, I guess, coaching. And we've never gone to Lakota West and played a Division II school who was in regional semifinals last year. So I had a hard time, I think, selling my girls that, hey, you belong here. Mm-hmm. And that they went in, I think, with a nothing to lose attitude, whatever. I think Worthington Kilbourne, like I said, we lost to Berlin Highland, and we're Division 7. It's like, what? Okay, I don't know how they went into it, but we gave them a fight, and I'm gonna tell you what, it was an amazing experience. Like I said, we got to eat out, and took our time getting home, and we had good, a lot of people travel. But that's the kind of games our end goal at some point is we want to go to Dayton. I mean, why not? We've had local schools make it to Dayton before, and we had Portsmouth Amy won a state title. Why not us? I guess is kind of my attitude about it. And so that's what makes scheduling so hard. And I talk about the frustration with wondering, St. Joe did not have a team. That's how we ended up with the Greenup game yesterday. Trying to fill that, and that's my frustration. I've been on both ends of the spectrum. Well, I remember one time, when I first came back into coaching, I had 6 kids one day, and I ended up with 5. I took 5 kids over to Fairview, Kentucky, because my 6th man, they wouldn't let her out of a parade. She's in the band. I mean, I get it. You're just trying to feel. I'm like, you're kidding me, right? I can't have her for a basketball game. But that's just how things are. You have to share kids at a small school, and I feel for those schools. But next year, we're already looking. I'm already trying to fill my schedule next year with, instead of Lakota, we are starting off at Tri-Village. I mean, we're going almost to Indiana, and Jim DeBelt's one of my really good friends. He's a writer for PGH. He's been over 40 years of experience. He's trying to get our kids exposure, and he is running a great event. We don't know who our opponent will be, but we know, it's going to be only the top teams get invited. So, I'm looking for events and stuff like that to try to up that schedule for the next year. Then the next year, who knows? We may have to bring it, back down a notch. We may not. I don't know what the future holds, but that was just a great experience to start the season off. And it was so funny that people around here are like, oh, you're 0-1, you're 0-1. I'm like, yeah, we are. Okay. Get back to me in a month, and then we'll see where we're sitting. So
yeah, it's you get back to you in a month, and it's 7-1. So I mean, that's why you go. That's why you go out and you play those games, because you have a team that you're coming off of a regional trip last year. You have a lot of players back. You get Lainey Strickland in. You're just going to be better. So you have to go out and challenge yourselves, and that's why you do it. So let's talk a little bit about your players. So Abby Knapp, your daughter, is committed to Marshall. So how important do you think that was to get that out of the way early? Because she's coming into her junior year, just to where it's kind of just stress-free now.
It is stress-free, and that was the offer she wanted. And it was, people were like, I can't believe how many more offers did she had. She had tons more offers, and she had a lot more offers that our travel ball coach didn't tell us about on purpose, because she knew that's where she wanted to go. And so she would have committed, I think it was June 17th when Coach Folks called and made the offer, and she would have committed that day. And I said, Abby, let's just, and the whole process stressed her out. It really did. It was a stressful summer up until that point. And then when she got that offer, and she's like, man, Mom, that's where my heart is. We'd been to Georgetown. I love Jeff. Since he was at Shawnee, and she had a full offer there. I think that was probably her second. I won't say a backup plan. But great program there. I don't care what level it is. And I made that clear from the get-go. I don't care what level she plays. Let's go play some college basketball. But anyway, she got that offer, and I said, let's wait until travel ball's over for the summer, after the Run for the Roses. If you still feel this way, then why don't you commit? And she called the day after travel ball was over and committed. So that was very helpful. The stress is over. She can focus on high school basketball. We don't have to worry about, what college coach is coming here, coming there. That's just, it's done, and we're happy it's done. So.
Well, then you also, a couple other standouts for you guys. If you haven't seen Green play, by the way, it's just, Abby Knapp is outstanding. But you also have some other pieces. I know you had a player injured in the summer, but you also, Lainey Strickland, Elizabeth McBee, just a couple of your players. Can you tell us a little bit about what they've been able to do to help you guys off to the start?
Yeah, and when I get frustrated, my husband has to remind me, 5 weeks ago, we just threw a team together that never played together before, if you think about it.
Right.
I mean, but Maddie tore ACL. Maddie was, she was our point guard. So here we're sitting here going, oh, this is great. We literally, Abby can handle the ball. Abby played point, all the way up when she was in elementary school, but that's not what we need Abby to do, But anyway, so enter Lainey Strickland. She makes the transfer, and a year ago we're fighting for a league title against Lainey, and so now here, now she's come over to the dark side here, and thankfully she's here. I have 3. Yesterday we went to Greenup. We don't do captains meetings in Ohio anymore. And they're like, we need captains. So I'm like, oh, really? Okay. And those were the 3 that I said, okay, our leaders. That's Abby, Lainey, and Elizabeth McBee. But Lainey's averaging, I think it's 11 points now, 8 rebounds per game. She gives us a strong inside presence, and that's helpful to Abby. And that was another help for Abby, because she doesn't feel like she has to do it all. And that's a lot of times last year. Yeah, you want her with the ball when it counts, when the game's on the line, but we don't need her to have to try to do it all season. We have other players, and Lainey takes the load off, the pressure off of Abby. She's a strong presence inside defensively. She's a rebounding machine, and Lainey can handle the ball. She's showing a side of her game that she didn't get to show last year. I mean, I call it point guard by committee. I mean, if we have to designate a point guard, it's going to be either Elizabeth or Abby. But our theory is you get the rebound, you either outlet and go with it, or you take it yourself. And I'm comfortable. Lainey brings the ball down. Lainey can shoot the 3. She doesn't get to shoot it a lot, but I don't worry. It's like, I had to tell you, it's okay if you're open. It's okay to shoot. So she's working on other parts of her game, and that's going to make player. And then we have Elizabeth McBee, who's a sophomore. She's in Lainey's class, and Elizabeth played a lot of minutes last year, especially the second half of the season. She was coming. And there were so many minutes, or so many times she played more minutes than anybody on the team. And once she got in the game, she did what she needed to do, and she never came out. She was a big factor in our wins and our district title, and actually, she was the factor when we beat Notre Dame that second time to clinch the league. Abby got in foul trouble, and the job she did guarding Lainey inside. That's the thing. Elizabeth can play inside. She can play outside. She shut Lainey down, and we stood a chance, and we came away with the win and the league title. So she was a big piece of that.
And now she can throw that out there during practice as well. So
exactly.
That makes things a little bit more fun. So
here's a fun thing. Lainey, the thing of it is, Lainey and Elizabeth, they've been best friends since they were like 5. They knew each other. They've known each other for years. Their parents have always been friends. And I think that's kind of so cool. You know what I'm saying? And that was the dynamic last year. I'm like, oh gosh, we got to put her on Lainey. David's like, you don't have a choice, put her on Lainey. But I just think that's kind of cool that now they get to play together. So I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
Oh no, it's all good, Coach. We appreciate you calling in, and we're kind of strapped for time tonight, but we would love to have you call in at another time. So we appreciate you calling in. So a big one tomorrow against South Webster, correct?
Yep. Correct.
So, and then we will be following along, and we'll definitely have you on again here in the future. We'll make sure we got a little bit more time, and love to hear a little bit more about your team then.
That's fine. I appreciate the opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you, Coach. Good luck.
Thanks, Coach.
Thanks. Bye.
Yeah, and it's just like you said, when a team from down here gets a chance to go play in those things, it doesn't matter what happens as long as you put forth a good showing, and they did, and that's what makes you better.
Right. And, her team has to play with so much energy just by listening to her talk on the phone.
Yeah, I watched
can't
her coach.
imagine. I can't imagine how fun her team has just with her leading the way, and obviously her daughter's really good. But I remember talking to her last year, and just a really big fun personality in terms of excitement for girls basketball, and what she's doing at Green is unbelievable and has done there. And giving those kids opportunities to go play in those events, it's not something that happens all the time.
Yeah, and then she's also got a son who's a 1,000-point scorer as well.
Yep,
So
I remember her talking about him last year.
Yeah, pretty good coaching over there. So now joining us on the Edward Jones Coaches Hotline from Huntington, Coach Rick Uhrig. How are you doing tonight, Coach?
Great. How are you?
We're doing well. It's a beautiful night. I'm sure it's a beautiful night in the township, correct?
Certainly was. Just got out of practice a little bit ago and drove to town with my windows down.
There you go. Make sure you roll them up tonight, because I don't know if you're going to be able to do that tomorrow. But it's been a nice start to the season for you guys, 7-2. Can you just tell us a little bit about what's kind of got you guys off to this start this season?
There's probably a lot of factors. A lot of it is the desire to keep improving. We've had after we beat Sims Valley last year, upset them in the tournament, we came back and cut one of our own nets down. And we had a picture of that, and that's been hanging in the locker room since then. That just says "want more" on it. And the kids walk by that every day, and I think, in the back of their minds, they're wanting a little bit more.
Yeah, and I think, Coach, that you know as well as I do, just being a year older and already having a little bit of that tournament success, that just is something that I think takes maturity, and I think that your guys, obviously, all being a year older, have shown that this year in your 7-2 start.
Oh, that's for sure. I mean, the couple of seniors that we've got, this is their third year with me, and just a vast improvement over not only what they're giving us on the court, but just what they're giving us mentally and attitude-wise. We're getting great leadership out. Talking about Eli and Calvin, and Frankie's come back in bigger, faster, and stronger. That makes a big difference. And Brennan, we threw him in the fire last year as a freshman and played Zayden here or there, and that's made a big difference. Brennan's grown, Zayden's grown, and we're not only physically maturing, but basketball mentality, we've matured a good bit too.
Well, you mentioned Brennan and kind of getting thrown into the fire last year. Me and Shane have talked about him a good bit on Overtime, of like how much we enjoy watching him play, because it feels like he's doing exactly what you guys need. He's not trying to do too much. He's just getting you guys in the right spots. He's handling the ball. He's playing good defense. Can you just talk about like what you've seen his growth from the beginning of last year until now?
His confidence has grown a good bit. He wasn't an overly confident kid. He probably is his worst critic. And, we've been talking to him about, he needs to shoot the ball a little bit more. And, but his number one priority is to be in the plus column when it comes to assists and turnovers, and to just be solid defensively. And, he handles that night in, night out pretty well for us.
Yeah, and that's saying a lot for just a sophomore point guard. I think he's a true point guard. He's making sure everyone's in the right spots and getting the ball to the right people, and he's got to be able, for you guys especially, to be able to step up and knock down those open threes, which I think he's done. A lot more for you guys consistently this season.
He's I'm a little bit biased, but I think he is one of the best point guards in the league, and as a sophomore, I know that's going out on a limb, but there's no doubt in my mind that he will be unquestionably the best sophomore before he graduates high school. Nothing tragic going on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he just does a really good job of like just doing what he needs to, which means he's just going to get better at those other parts of the game growing throughout as well. So just want to jump into, we had him on here last week, but Frankie and Calvin. So how nice has it been to have those two? And then have you seen anything like, brother wise, is Frankie kind of the hardest on Calvin, or is it kind of he's kind of helping him along?
Well, let's just talk about Frankie and Calvin for a second. Last year Frankie snuck in there and didn't let anybody know, and I happened to see it. Well, the other night I bring up the SOSA, and lo and behold, there they are. And I'm pretty sure that they told you that they had to get in the fact that they had their basketball stuff on, because I give them a hard time about what shirts they wear all the time. But on the serious side, Frankie tries to be hard on Calvin, but I mean, only Frankie's probably the only one that knows that he probably couldn't whip Calvin if it came down to it. So there's that. You know what? They are both great kids, great people, great men. And the best part about having those two is they are, when it comes down to it, they are different players.
Mm-hmm.
They do a lot of the same stuff, but they are different players. They have different mentality toward things. I mean, they're two different kids, and whether they're brothers or not, I mean, we're just happy to have them. Calvin is obviously in our 6-man rotation, and we love having him. Now, as far as the two, Frankie tries to correct him some, and sometimes Calvin will let him, and sometimes Calvin has to straighten him back out. But the best part is there's no on-court competition with them. They're both there for the same reason, and that's for that team to be successful, and that's the most important thing.
I agree with that 100%, Coach. Obviously, having coached several sets of brothers over the years, and coaching my own two kids, you just see that they are different. Not only, number one, they're different people, but just different players. But I think that what we're going to see here the second half of the season, I think Calvin Hirsch is really starting to feel comfortable out there, which I think is going to be a big problem for a lot of teams.
He, as a freshman, he's going to be one of those kids that in 4 years, other coaches are going to say, man, he's been playing for 10 years.
Exactly.
I mean, he's going to leave that in people's mind. I mean, he's strong. He's athletic. He's got a pretty good sense for the ball. He's led us in rebounding a couple times. He always gets some rebounds. Now, his biggest drawback is sometimes he gets in a rush and misses that layup. So we've had to institute a rule that we had back in the Philip Harrington days, where if you rebound your own missed layup, we don't count that as a rebound. But he's working hard. He's working hard. We don't expect him to score a bunch. We expect him to bang around and guard. He's a nice defender.
Mm-hmm.
And it's hard, even in today's basketball game, to have a freshman to be able to impact that. There was no question in my mind that Calvin was going to play varsity, whereas 2 years ago, I had to get convinced, and my assistants always had to twist my arm behind my back to give Frankie a shot as a freshman. So,
right.
There's that.
Well, I just think, that goes back to them being different players, and their size was different. Frankie wasn't as big as he is now when he was a freshman. Calvin right now walked in as a freshman and looked like he was ready to go. So I think that, and then plus the difference, obviously Frankie handling the ball, you're always, I know as a coach, you're a little hesitant to put that much on a freshman, and whereas now you can just throw Calvin out there and he can go do what he does without really that much responsibility in terms of ball handling and decision making and things like that. So I think obviously that probably played a little bit of a factor in that.
Sure it did. And, it's nice to have that extra muscle. Calvin Manson is a man among boys at times. And when we rotate into having both of those kids on the court, and then Zayden's a dark horse. He's got arms that never stop. He leads the team in block shots. And, we really got a pretty good rebounding crew when we've got, the rotation in that direction.
Yeah, it's nice to have that length, but also the physicality. Shane's kind of brought up how you guys almost can play sort of positionless basketball because you have so many guys that can guard different positions, and I think that's been a big help for you guys as well.
That's true. That's very true. We try to match up with the other team's better players with who we think categorically fits into that. But there's been no game where one guy's guarded the best player the whole game on the other team. I mean, we've got kids that just bring different things to the table offensively and defensively, and that makes it a lot easier.
Yeah, that definitely benefits in a big way for the whole team. So, Coach, we appreciate you calling in. We'll have you guys on live stream on Tuesday when you guys take on Vinton County. So, look forward to talking to you then, and we hope to hear from you again after the holiday season.
Hey, anytime. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
Thanks, Coach.
Bye.
Yeah, and that'll be like an old school type game with Vinton County and Huntington on Tuesday. Just two programs that really do it the right way.
Yeah, and you know, if you want to go watch teams play with maximum effort, just tune into that.
Yeah.
You know, if you can't make it to the game, tune into SOSA and watch it, because you're going to see, you know, two teams playing extremely hard, well coached on both sides, and should make for a good game.
Yeah. So we will be joined with another coach here in just a moment here on the Edward Jones Coaches Hotline from Piketon. We'll have Coach Kyle Miller. How you doing tonight, Coach?
I'm doing well, sir. How are you?
Oh, we're doing well. It's as of now, it's a beautiful night. Tomorrow might be different, but it's always a good day getting to talk basketball with some really good coaches around. So we appreciate you calling in. Your season,
I appreciate it.
Your season's been fairly interesting. Not a great start, but you guys have played really well lately. Winners of 5 of 6. Can you talk about kind of what's turned things around for you guys and kind of where you guys are, or what position you guys are in right now?
Yeah, I mean, I'd say a big component of the slow start is, you know, five of our top 7 that played quite a bit are, you know, football guys, right? So, you know, kind of breaking out of that mold and breaking into basketball. And then the 6th out of our top 7 is a golfer who had quite a bit of postseason success. So he was on the course, and then our football guys were on the football field. So you don't get a lot of gym time with those guys in the fall. And I always purposely, and I'm sure other coaches do the same thing, I always purposely leave those guys alone. I don't send them messages about basketball. I don't put any pressure on them to get into the gym and get shots up. I'm a firm believer that you should be completely involved in what's current, and then basketball will make itself available when the kids are available. So, you know, that's probably a piece of the slow start. And you know, the other piece of it too is credit to the teams on our schedule. I mean, Zay Trace is a really good team. I think Clayton's a really good team, and then Ross County Christian, I think deserves a lot of respect. And you know, that was a tough one just from the aesthetics. But you know, I look back at those stats, and we win the O boards and we win the turnovers. We just didn't shoot it well. So. And they did shoot it well. So, you know, the tough start was a combination of, you know, our guys being multiple sport athletes and not having a whole lot of gym time, but then also the quality of the schedule early on.
Yeah, Coach, and I think that takes a lot to be able to do the things that you've done in terms of just letting them be with those fall sports. But I think it comes full circle now that they are in the gym and you are winners of 5 of 6, and it just shows what type of team that you guys can have moving forward.
Oh, those kids! If we got wins for character, I mean, we wouldn't have a loss. Those kids are incredible kids. You know, sometimes we struggle with basketball a little bit, but you know, I wouldn't want to stand in front of any other team in the locker room of any other team than those guys. I enjoy showing up every day. You know, we may struggle to make layups, we may struggle to shoot the ball, we may even struggle to get stops at times, but I'll never question the effort or the character of our kids.
Well, and when you say that, one of the kids I really think of when you talk about effort and character is Bo Henry. So how much of a benefit has it been to, because I know it was a scary thing over at Unioto, like we all kind of thought he was done, and that he's been able to come back and put forth anything for you guys. How huge has that been for you guys?
Oh, it's been obviously massive. I mean, Bo's a first-team All-League returner, our leading scorer last year, one of the true basketball guys we have as far as touch and feel. So he makes things a little bit easier for everybody else on the floor, everybody else in the program. And so, yeah, he is coming off of a meniscus tear and a minor surgery that he had made the decision to get toward the end of football. And another one that probably deserves to be mentioned in that note as well is Trevin Shanks.
Yeah.
I mean, the kid is He missed a couple football games, which is his primary sport. You'd have to drag him off the football field. So you know how bad his leg was feeling for him to miss a couple football games. And, to be honest, you'd have to drag him off the basketball court as well. So, those two, battling through what they're battling, I mean, it's, they deserve the current success that we're experiencing for sure.
Coach, I can't tell you how happy I was to find out that Bo was okay, because obviously that was against us, and I was one of the first people out there, and you were one of the first people I thought of was like, oh my gosh, because when a big kid like that goes down and he's saying the things that he's saying out there in terms of what he felt with his knee, the older you get, the more you just realize, we were out there trying to compete and win the game and stuff. But man, you're really thinking about these kids and how few opportunities they have. And I was staying in contact with Coach Goy and just trying to get updates on Bo the next couple weeks following that. And just, I just wanted to let you know that how happy I am to be, for you, obviously, to get him back and what type of a kid he is, because I know what type of kid he is, and just to let you know that, how hard that was to see him go down.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, and you kind of you mentioned Trevin as well. We saw what he could do on our live stream in that Week 10 game against Huntington, where he was unbelievable when he was finally able to get back out on the field. So you've mentioned Bo and Trevin. Can you talk about some of the other players who have really stepped up for you guys during this nice little run you guys have had?
Oh yeah, I mean it's you have Luke Gaudier. We call him QB1 for obvious reasons. Luke, a lot of times, much like his older brother, a lot of times in our man, he's drawn more of the tougher matchups, and so it's really important for him. And then he's one of the guys that provides us a threat from the outside as far as catch and shoot goes. He's just a steady kid. You've got Jace Johnson, who is our primary ball handler. Kind of rights the ship for us in terms of the chaos at times, because a team full of football guys, sometimes you can throw the ball all over the place. So JJ's massive for us. And a lot of times is trying to apply some ball pressure to the ball handlers of the other team. You have Noah Ross, who started the season, then we made the decision to bring him off the bench, and massive energy guy, massive glue guy. Had to play against West Union the other night, where literally everybody stops playing and he dives out of bounds like Dennis Rodman, saves it into Luke Lloyd's hands for a putback layup. So he's always giving us the enthusiasm, the energy, the effort, no matter how well he's playing or not playing. You have Chase Ritchie, a junior, who has really stepped into more of a impactful role, a scoring role, and we saw glimpses of it last year as a sophomore. But now this year, he's really starting to turn the corner as far as becoming that first or that second scorer for us, providing some consistency. Then off the bench, you have sophomore Connor Clemens, who Connor's kind of that guy that you don't notice is out there, but then in the moment of a game, like Westfall is one of them. When during our comeback, we needed to stop late in the game, and Connor comes up with a steal, just a poke away steal, and he does that all the time. He does that in practice as well against their alumni. I mean, he's just got a nose for the ball, and he's always kind of around it, and so he's a kid that you look at him and he puts a smile on your face, and you wonder, is he getting it? And then he does. He gets it. And he makes plays for us. And then, I mean, our guys that play JV deserve a mention. Those guys, battle us in practice. My alumni that come in, I've got 5 to 6 alumni that come in somewhat regularly. I mean, those guys all deserve a lot of credit.
Coach, what do you guys have the rest of the break and into the new year?
We have Ironton St. Joe on Tuesday at home. Friday we have a makeup versus Southeastern at home, and then Saturday we have Wellston at home. So we get to go home for a little while. We've only had 2 home games out of our first 9, so it'll be nice to be at home for a little bit of stretch.
Yeah, that's something you should have mentioned in the beginning when we're talking about the slow start, and now you're able to get back home, and you're really and it's good to play over the break, I think, and obviously you guys are going to do that, be really busy this week, 3 games, and then head into the new year hopefully with a lot of momentum.
Yeah, absolutely.
So last question for you: is the oven still hot? All the time.
You know what? I'll be honest with you. I don't know how that nickname came about. That's got to be an old gym nickname because it is cold. I mean, it is. I love a hot gym,
Right.
and it is cold. I'm not a fan of how cold our gym is.
I've kind of wondered that because outside of like the first time I played in there, you scorched me. I like to say you had your first really big game when I was guarding you, which might not have been true, but you had a big game with me guarding you.
I don't think it was true. Yeah, I don't think it was true.
So
that means you're saying you had a big game before that.
yeah. Because it was
no, I don't think that either.
So, yeah, Coach, we appreciate you calling in, and best of luck this week. It's going to be a really busy week, and we look forward to hearing from you again after the new year.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Thank you guys for all the coverage that you guys give to not just us, but all the area athletes. I mean, we're so lucky to have people like you guys that are so invested.
Thank you, Coach, very much. We appreciate you.
Good luck, Coach.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, guys.
Thank you. He just scorched me.
He's one of the best players that I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Honestly, I mean, I remember him and a couple other guys, a really good class, got thrown in early as freshmen, and man, the development and the where they ended up when they graduated. He's one of the best, man. And then he's a really good coach, and he's an even better person.
Yeah.
He's done a great job at Piketon, and he's one of the guys that I've always had a lot of respect for. I wanted to ask him if he was one of the alumni that play against him, because if so, then those guys are still in trouble, because I know he can still play.
Oh, that dude could just flat out ball. So now joining us on the Edward Jones Coaches Hotline from Greenfield McClain, Coach Jarrod Haines. How you doing tonight, Coach?
Hey, I'm good, man. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, we appreciate you calling in. A busy day. Did you get some wins over there?
Yeah, we did. We played in the courthouse Little League preseason holiday tournament, and sixth grade came out with a championship, so that's good to see. And a couple girls teams, so yeah, good day for basketball in Greenfield.
Well, does that mean that Corey with you? I don't know how old his girls
yeah,
are.
Corey coaches fifth grade girls. Yeah, so that's my daughter's team.
That's got to be the tallest, most left-handed coaching staff. I mean, but
hold on a minute. Hazel's in fifth grade?
Yes.
Holy moly. That's hard to believe just in itself.
Yeah, so it's I'm glad you're able to take some time with us here tonight. We actually were able to get over there and stream your game on Tuesday. A really good win for you guys over at Zane Trace. Felt like you guys did kind of what you wanted to do in the game, and were able to pull out the win. And can you talk about a little bit about who's played well for you guys this year? Jordan, I thought, was really good that night, but just kind of overall for you guys on the year.
Yeah, absolutely. Jordan Bell's our senior point guard. He can shoot the ball. As you've seen, he hasn't seen too many shots that he doesn't like. But for us to go, he has to be hitting. And he's played pretty well for us. I think he's averaging right around 12, 13 a game. And then it's basically a slew of sophomores. I think Hudson Lovett is played really well for us. He's a matchup nightmare for a lot of people. Again, learning how to be a leader at the varsity level. Brady Benninger, another sophomore, is kind of starting handling the ball for us some, and kind of learning on the fly. Matthew Cummins, he's new to the varsity team, another sophomore. He's we kind of look at him to guard the other team's best players night in and night out. And a couple more sophomores. Connor Chandler's came in and played some big minutes for us. Julian Evans is a senior. He had a big game the other night, as you've seen. Zane Trace, and we needed that out of him. And then we've got a couple of juniors that come in and give us minutes here and there. And Lucas Banks is a freshman. He gets a little bit of time. So just trying to get these kids some experience at the varsity level, because our league's a nightmare. So getting them some experience, and hopefully down the stretch we can compete in some of those games.
Yeah, Coach, you mentioned your league, and I'd venture to say you have three of the top teams in the Southeast, in your conference. So kind of just talk about the growth and the mindset you guys have to have when you guys are competing against those guys.
Yeah. I thought we did a good job of keeping that Chillicothe game close. It was 16-12 and going into half. It's the kind of game that we want to slow it down, because we can't get in a track meet with a team like Chillicothe And even though I think we ended up losing by 14 or 15, it felt a lot closer. The kids really put it together. And then we had a couple of days to prepare, and we went to courthouse and got blown out. So, you got to, we're trying to get the mindset of not just taking the court and competing, but, taking it to win. And then we had Jackson come in that next Friday, and kind of the same thing. Jackson did whatever they wanted. And we didn't really, our defense didn't get to dictate much. But Chillicothe, we did. So I think at Zane Tracy the other night, we kind of got back to that. And first time this year we took the court to win. And I was really, really proud of our kids.
Yeah, and I mean, I just heard you list off, multiple sophomores, and
Yeah.
that's unfortunately what you have to kind of go through with those guys. But the fact that you're seeing glimpses of it, like you talked about, glimpses of it in the Chillicothe game, and then to go to Zane Trace, I believe it was Zane Trace, to Zane Trace and knock those guys off, who's a really good team. You got to be, at least, pleased with that it's you've seen flashes of it. Now the consistency part is the next part.
Right. Yeah. It's up and down. Sometimes I'm wondering, what are we doing? And then we go to Zane Trace, and it all comes to fruition, and it looks really, really good. But I understand, and I think our community understands, the administration understands, we're a young team. We're going to have some good nights like that. And then we might come out the next night and look like a totally different team. That's just that's why it's important to get these kids some experience and some confidence to be consistent, for sure.
Yeah, and you mentioned the community. One of the best basketball communities in the Southeast is Greenfield. So you've been around it a long time as the girls coach for a long time now. This is your second year, correct, as the boys coach?
Yes,
yeah,
correct.
So just how important has that community involvement, and how much they just love basketball? How much has that helped kind of ease your movement into the boys, especially with such a young team?
Yeah, I mean, that was my goal when I took this job, like, get the community to buy back in. And because, when you fill that gym, the kids can feed off of it. And I think we've done a really good job of that. Our community loves basketball. I wouldn't even say they want to see us go out and win every game. They just want to see us play that gritty style of McClain basketball, where we're going to get after you. And maybe like the other night, Zane Trace, I feel at times we played ugly. We made them play ugly. But, until we can get confidence and the experience to have that skill set where, we're doing what we want on offense, that's just unfortunately the brand of basketball we're going to play. But a community buy-in loves that. John, if you saw the other night, we took a lot of charges.
Mm-hmm.
That's something we brought back. We give an award for the kid that takes the most charges.
So Brady got
during
it the
the year.
Yeah, Brady got a head start
exactly.
the other night.
Yeah, well, Jordan Bell's leading us in the whole season. He won it last year for the season. So, yeah, just that grittiness and getting them to buy back into the defensive end of the floor. And with experience, I think the offense will come. But, the community buy-in is, you won't find too many better basketball schools to coach at. And I've been fortunate enough to be there for, this is like my 17th or 18th year coaching in Greenfield. So, yeah, I'm very, very fortunate.
Yeah, and it's always good, and you get to see, it start to rejuvenate itself, as you mentioned. So sometimes, and I know we've talked to different coaches, and it's kind of that gritty, not pretty attitude where you just go out and people love that. Like, even people love to watch teams win, and they love it like when it's that free flowing and it's nice and easy and scoring. But they also love to see you win 46-40 too. It doesn't matter as long as you're seeing that effort. And that was one of the things playing Greenfield was always kind of miserable, because it was that effort, that defense. And it's great to hear that you guys are working on bringing that back to what Greenfield's always been known for.
Yes, for sure. We're trying to work for that the ground up. And I think a big thing when I mention our admin is, the strength training. We put some money into a really nice weight room with 40 yards of turf, and it's our old bus garage. So we got a new bus garage. So our old bus garage is just a huge open building, and we got a nice weight room that Mark Beal went out and got us. And then we just had 40 yards of turf installed. Nice. Last week. So I'm really looking forward to the summer as far as strength, agility training, and hopefully these kids can reap the benefits of that.
Yeah, it's always a good thing. That'll help every sport at Greenfield as well to build that up as a whole. So, Coach, we appreciate you taking some time here on a Sunday night to call in, and I know you got a big week this week. Adena, and then Blanchester at Fairfield, correct?
Correct. Yep.
So-
We're looking forward to getting back to work and hopefully competing and giving ourselves a chance to win both those games.
Well, best of luck to you this week, and we hope to hear from you again after the holiday season.
All right. Thanks, guys. I appreciate all you guys do.
Thank
Thanks,
you,
man.
Coach.
Good luck, Coach.
Yep. Bye. Yeah. Bye.
Yeah, him and Corey are tall, left-handed. Good,
Yeah.
good coaches, good dudes. Like it's
I just wonder if his I've never seen him squat down as low as Corey does when Corey coaches. I know you know what I'm talking about. I think
Yes.
that must be just a weird left-handed thing because Corey's done that forever. No, but yeah, just he mentioned it a little bit about bringing back that toughness. I can remember early on coaching, going to Greenfield when Coach Van Meter was still coaching McClain. And it was back when you still had to call the newspaper after the game. And I looked at my assistant coach and I said, I'm going to have to call them tonight and tell them we scored 16 points in a varsity game. Thankfully, I think we got 30. So it wasn't as terrible when I called, but it was hard going there. And Coach Miller on the girls' side and I used to always joke about you're going to get greenfielded, which means that you're just going to be down 10-12 when you get there, and it's going to feel like you're down 30.
Oh, it was miserable for sure. So I'm very confused at this point. Okay, so we will be having a coach on in just a minute. So it's just, we don't have great signaling here, so we're not 100% sure. So now joining us on the Edward Jones Coaches Hotline from Peebles, Coach Josh Arey. How are you doing tonight, Coach?
Doing well. Doing very well.
Yeah, it's been a really nice start to the season for you guys, off to a 6-0 start. So can you talk about a little bit of what's going on for you guys and what's made it so successful so far?
Good players. The kids have, I tell you what, they really worked hard and kind of started during the summer. Everybody was all in, showed up to everything, worked hard. It's just kind of matriculated over to the season. They like each other, enjoy playing with one another, and they bought in. I think we're still very much a work in progress, but you see those things progressing every day in practice, whether it's offensively or defensively, and hopefully we can continue to do that.
Coach, talk about that. I know you just mentioned the summertime, how nice it is when you get a group like that has a really good summer together, and then that makes that transition right into fall and then the early part of the season so much easier on a coach, because it seems like that team chemistry that sometimes takes a little bit to develop or gel together is already there, and just kind of talk about how big of a factor that is in your 6-0 start.
Well, I think you're 100% correct. I mean, anytime you have kids showing up all summer, you can already start to put your things in. Kids are familiar with it. And then when you get to the fall and you get into your season, you're not reteaching it as much, or I guess you are reteaching it. You're not teaching it for the first time,
right?
Which kind of gives you that jump. And I think that's played a big role in everything that we've done, because the kids really did. They had a great summer, and you could tell they were antsy. They were ready for practice to start, and they come in every day and work hard, and it's made a big difference, I think.
Yeah, when you have some, as you said, really good players, some talented kids, does help things, and it makes that reteaching process a little easier. Is when they already know it and they can relearn it pretty quickly. But I want to throw one thing out. I talked to a kid, at one of the schools I work with, and I was, talking to him about who's the best team you played so far, and they're like, well, Peebles, and I was like, oh, really? And they're like, yeah, man, they're good. And I want to compliment you guys on that, because these are kids that don't really say good things about anybody they're playing. There's always there's something extra, but it was as soon as they said that, they're like, oh, they're good. I was like, well, I got to go out and watch Peebles. So I knew it was going to be a nice start for you guys. So you guys have had 7 different players score in double figures so far, which, I mean, I'm not sure there's a whole lot of teams that have done that. Can you talk about a couple of your individuals, or as many of them as you want to?
Yeah, first of all, I need to know, was that a small sample size? Had they only played one game?
I think it was like they had scrimmaged at least 3 teams. So
Okay.
yeah.
You mentioned the versatility scoring wise, and we really do. We have some senior leadership. Grady Canelty the other night had 21 against East Clinton, and played really well. Hit some outside shots, and then you have Paxton Ryan who can score at different levels. And Colin Sims is kind of our Swiss Army knife, or jack of all trades. Early in the year against Manchester, he had a 17-point game. So they all complement each other well and can do different things. And when you get into our underclassmen, our point guard is Connor Gross. He's a junior. Connor hasn't probably had many games where he has scored a lot, but he does his role, and he's certainly capable of that. Excellent passer, the way he sees the floor and finds his teammates in transition or in the quarter court. It's been a while since we've had a guy that's had that ability, kind of see things develop before they actually happen. Josh McClary, also a junior, excellent player. He can shoot from the perimeter, drive the basketball, good defender, and he just continues to get better. And then you got Bo Johnson, who's a sophomore. Another one, just high motor, can shoot it, drive it a little bit, plays hard on both ends. And we've got a freshman, a 6'4" freshman that we saw some this summer, but we're really pleased with his progress, and that was Keegan Puckett. And he gives us some size on the interior that, we were lacking a little bit. We also have Wyatt Smart, who's another senior. It's about 6'2", big, strong kid. So we've got a lot of different guys that we can throw at you, and hopefully, if it's not one guy's night, we have somebody else step up. And fortunately enough, so far in the young season, that has happened.
You're 6-0 so far, Coach. What about this last week of the holidays and then into the beginning of the new year? Who do you guys have coming up?
Well, we've got Blanchester Tuesday night. Been spending the evening with them, watching film on them, and we've got Athens. Mickey Kozar's doing a good job with that club. They're a young club, and we Friday at Alexander. So, both games will be a little bit different. Blanchester plays a lot of zone. Athens plays a tight man-to-man. So it'll be a good test for us this week. And after this week, next week is a big week for us. We have Eastern Brown coming in on Tuesday night, and then we travel to Fayetteville on a Friday. So a couple weeks of good basketball coming up for us.
Yeah, and you mentioned that Eastern team. We've talked really highly about them as well. So, looking forward to that game. But also, I'll be able to see you guys on Friday down at Alexander. So, looking forward to get eyes on you guys for the first time. But yeah, it's just off to a really nice start. But when you guys are playing in the Shack, can you just talk about kind of the communities down there and just like the environment of how basketball hungry it is in the Southern Hills?
Well, it's kind of a unique situation. You have Manchester and Fayetteville that have football, and that's it. So when you go through the fall, we have a couple of schools have club teams, but it's entirely different. So when you get through the fall, that anticipation, that build up for basketball season is just huge. The fans look forward to it, the kids look forward to it, just the communities in general. So I think we're a little different in that regard. At one time, I think the Shack was the largest conference in the state without a football school. That's changed, in the last 10, 15 years, but basketball is still just what everybody comes out, what they come out to, what they want to watch, what they enjoy. And because of that, the rivalries within the Shack are big, everywhere. When we played Leesburg a few weeks ago, and Don Bowles, who works for C103, made a comment, is it just a big rivalry between you two? And I said, I think it's league wide. I really do. I think, which been really good the last few years, plays a part in that. But I think anytime we play anyone in the Shack or they're playing anyone else, it's just huge because basketball is what we do down here.
Yeah, I agree. I made the comment a couple weeks ago when Coach Combs was at Vinton County and I was still at Unioto, and we would talk about scrimmaging some of your guys' teams. And, it was just almost like a joke because like you guys already had all your team shoes, you guys had your press breakers in, you had different zone presses, and we're just trying to find practice jerseys, and it's just different. It's different good. I think it's always been that way, and I think coaches like yourself, really embrace that and know the importance of it, and it's just a really neat conference to be a part of, and it's a really good conference to watch. I think it's just a credit to all of you guys for kind of upholding what it's always been and moving it forward.
Yeah, I think anytime we went to Benton County and played math clubs or went to Unioto and played, it was always an eye-opener for us, great for us because of the physicality and the competition. You guys were always just both schools extremely good, and it was great for us to be able to go and compete. But you're right, when you're not competing, I think with some of those other sports on a routine basis, it does give us an advantage early in the season. But it's no matter what, you got to have kids, coaches that work hard and do things that we need to do, and our staff has been absolutely amazing this year and every year to help prepare our kids. Really got to give a lot of credit to them as well.
Yeah, so Coach, we appreciate you calling in, and we know it's a big week this week. I'll probably run into you down at Alexander on Friday, but really looking forward to watching. I'm sure Don will have the call whenever you guys have Eastern coming up on that Tuesday. So look forward to following how you guys do, and we look forward to hearing from you again after the holiday season.
Hey, I appreciate the call, and you guys have a happy New Year.
Good to talk to you, Coach.
You too, Coach.
Thanks.
Yeah, one of the really good guys around, and it's just you can tell why. Like when people are in like positions like he is, like with the different thing with the district coaches and whatnot, you can see why when you talk to him.
Yeah, he's just. I've had so much respect for him, forever, and he's just a guy that he gets it.
Mm-hmm.
He gets it on and off the court. And he's just, one of those really good coaches that I think Peebles is super fortunate to have someone like that. He does a really good job, puts the kids first, and puts them in position to be successful, which he's had a ton of. So,
yeah,
great guy.
That's one of those really good guys as well. So they're off to an undefeated start. Another coach that's off to an undefeated start on the season. Next, join us on the Edward Jones Coaches Hotline from Lucasville Valley, Coach Craig Tackett. How you doing tonight, Coach?
Hey, I'm good. How are you guys doing? Appreciate you having me.
We're doing well. We appreciate you taking a little bit of time late on Sunday night to take our call and whatnot. So 5-0 start on the season for you guys. Can you tell us a little bit about how the season started and just a little bit about your team as well?
Absolutely. Yeah. Off to a 5-0 start. Very, very happy with our guys and the way that they've been buying into what we're doing and been working well together as a collective effort. So our season, we were supposed to have 7 games by now, but with that snowstorm, we were supposed to play Leesburg Fairfield at the Battle of the 740, and they weren't able to travel. So that one got postponed, and then Oak Hill. So, but other than that, I felt like the first couple games, still getting our legs under us and getting things together. We got off, I think, to a little bit slower start than we would have liked in the first half. It was able to make some adjustments and come away with a couple good wins over Piketon and Manchester. And then after that, I think we started to put some things together the way that we needed to, and was able to get a couple good wins coming off of our last one back on the 19th. It feels like it's been a while since we've played, but at Eastern on the 19th, was able to get a very good team win. I feel like a collective group with several guys contributing. And then, but yeah, like I said, that long break from the 19th, and we don't play again until Tuesday. So,
Coach, what have you guys kind of been doing to occupy your time with that long break? You guys, a lot of scrimmage type situations, or just basically focusing on maybe some things you've seen early on film that you guys really want to try to improve going into the second half, or how is that kind of set up for you guys?
Yeah, absolutely. You hit it right on the head there. We've been doing a lot of a mixture of both. We'll look at some things that we always talk about improving or continuing the good and improving the bad. And we've looked at some things that we've maybe needed to clean up, some things that have held us back to our full potential. and really focused this last week and a half on just not worried about other opponents right now, but just being the best Valley basketball team that we can possibly be with the pieces that we have. I feel like we're a little bit deeper this year than we have been in years past. We got a great group of guys that really buy in and pull for each other. And so we've had some competitive practices because they really hold each other accountable and push each other to be the best. And then we've done a lot of scrimmage situations. And also not even just going, first five versus another the next five or whatever. We've mixed teams up and done some things to keep it competitive. And like Saturday's practice, we picked teams before, and in every drill we did, we kept score and just kept an hour and a half, continuing score through every drill that we did. And that way the losing team at the end of the day, owed some running, but just to keep things exciting, pushing each other and not trying not to just go through the motions, trying to make each day just a little bit different to stay motivated.
Yeah, when you have that long a break, you have to be kind of creative in the different things that you do to make practice, a little bit more fun, especially when you don't have school at that same time. So it's just a lot of different things. So can you talk about your team a little bit? I know you guys were really balanced last year. Also, I know there wasn't a ton of depth last year. Have you guys kind of bounced back from some of the injuries? And can you just talk about your team a little bit?
Yeah, absolutely. So last year we thought going in that we were going to have that luxury of depth, and then we had a couple injuries that were season-ending injuries, unfortunately. And so we weren't very deep. Weren't nearly as deep as we thought we would be last year. This year, we've kind of got that luxury back. Hopefully it stays with us the rest of the season. We've got one senior. We started a senior and 4 juniors. And they've all been producing very well. And then we have about 3 guys, 2 that really get a lot of minutes. So we have about 7 in our rotation that probably play close to equal minutes. And then an 8-man that comes in and gets significant minutes, especially depending on matchups and the night. And that's been very good for us. Just to give you an example of, the way they buy in, like when we played Eastern last game, we had 3 guys in double figures at 14, 12, and 10. And then our next 2 was 8, 8, and we had a guy with 6. So just really sharing the ball, trying to find the open guy. They really buy into not worried about getting theirs, but worried about getting getting ours, I guess, so to speak. And, as long as somebody in one of our jerseys is getting the bucket, then we're all excited about it. But they're a fun group to coach in that way. They're fun not only because they're good athletes, but they're more importantly good kids and really push you to be your best each day. And defensively, they really communicate well with each other. They really work off each other and feed very well off each other. And then that translates, I think, to our offense. And that's kind of the mindset we've had right now is, we're trying to be as best as we can on defense and rebounding, and then let offense take care of itself. And I think they've really bought into that approach.
Yeah, and then, you got a big week this week. Portsmouth on Tuesday, correct?
Yeah, that's correct.
So, and then you get to go to the West Side on Friday. Can you, everything we've kind of talked about in the preseason going into the SOC3 has been just how everyone is good. Like, Minford graduates 4 out of 5 starters, but I still don't think you can take them lightly because they have a lot of experience, kids that know how to win. Could you just talk about how deep that league is this year and what kind of challenge it's going to be each night for whoever is going to end up winning that league?
Yeah, absolutely. As most gyms do, we have all the banners of each school in our conference hanging on the wall, and we talk about those and we look at those fairly often at the start of each practice. Is if we don't give everything we've got today, there's a good chance that any team on that wall can beat us. I feel like we've got the pieces that if we bring everything we've got each night, then we have the potential, I think, to beat any team in our conference. But the problem is there's most of the teams in our conference has that same potential. Mm-hmm. And there's no off nights. There's no easy nights. We were looking at our schedule the other day, me and the other coaches, and, we've got 17 games left, and not one of them is we should be able to handle that one. It's just every one of them is a battle each night, and that conference, those 10 games couldn't be more true. As, like you mentioned, Minford is playing well, they graduated a lot. They've got a new coach trying to, instill his system, and apparently he's doing a pretty quick job of it. And South Webster graduated a lot, but they're still playing well. And, Coach Pearson's going to have them, ready and playing well by conference plays also. But on paper, you've got Wheelersburg West and Waverly that are all very strong, have a lot of pieces, and they returned a lot from last year, didn't graduate much. None of them did. And it's just one of those things that big picture, you can't look too far ahead. We have some goals in the locker room that the coaches or that the players help vote on, and they're season-end goals, but that's what we talked about is the day that we take off or the day that we take a step back is the day that those goals are going to start going away, because there's any team on our schedule can knock anybody else off. And that makes it good. It makes it fun because, that's part of the reason we do this is because we enjoy being competitive, I guess. But every now and then it'd be nice to have one, but this league just doesn't give it to you, and that makes us better in the long run, I feel like. And it's good for the kids. It's good for it's good for Southern Ohio, and it's really good for the program.
Yeah, Coach, you just mentioned it, the long run. And, you're gonna be battle tested, obviously, night in and night out, and with the OHSA going to 7 divisions, it's gonna just prepare you even and set you up probably for more postseason success, I would think.
I would hope so. That's our goal, and that's the way we've looked at it the last few years. Is we don't shy away from playing teams that, even if we know that we've really got our work cut out for us. We know that as long as we learn from it, and you can't hang your head over any game, because we know we're going to face adversity. Thankfully we're off to a strong start, but we know that eventually there's going to be some bumps in the road, and we're going to get knocked in the mouth, and how we respond to that and how we mature through that throughout the regular season, I think is what's going to set us up for success in the postseason. These teams that make runs in the postseason and have most of the success, they don't usually have just an easy road, up until that point. They have been battle tested. They have been faced adversity, and that can only make you better in the long run. And I think that's good for us.
I completely agree. So, it's a tough week for you this week because, that's an improved Portsmouth team. And then obviously West is tough, and anybody you're going to get in the SOC 3 is going to be tough as well. So, Coach, we appreciate you taking some time here on Sunday night to call in, and best of luck to you this week. And we hope to hear from you again later on in the season.
Appreciate you guys reaching out and covering our kids and giving us the opportunity to talk about them. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Coach. Good luck this week.
Good luck, Coach.
Thanks. Thank you.
Yeah, and I didn't want to throw it out of like the Valley. It might be the shortest Valley team ever. They're like peaking at 6'2".
Yeah.
But man, they're a talented group, and he's done a really nice job with them and Lucasville. It's always a tough place to play, and the SOC 3 is going to be a nightmare this year.
Yeah, every game, you say it all the time. It's the truth in that conference for sure. Every game is you better play well or you're going to get beat.
Yeah, it's one of the better leagues in our area. So just a few things to kind of wrap the show with. We have 3 live streams this week starting on Monday, all presented by Ohio Health. On Monday, we've got Circleville at Unioto girls. Tuesday, Vinton County at Huntington boys. And then Saturday, Circleville at Miami Trace on the boys' side as well. Those should...
3 really good games.
Yeah, have a chance to be 3 really good games. Make sure you support those sponsors. I don't know if you really want to support Ohio Health because that means that you have some issues. But remember, they're going to help. They support a lot of our local youth. So if you have to see somebody, they're a pretty good option.
Yeah, I mean, if you don't have to see them, and someone that does, obviously try to send them that way because they're going to receive the best, the best of the best with the care that they're going to get. Really, just appreciate them for how much they do for all of our local athletes.
Yes, 100%. And then obviously you're watching the Haines Healthcare Coaches College Show. We had a nice interview with Keegan Snyder from Findlay and Coach Elijah Green on earlier to start the episode. If you haven't seen that, you can always go back and rewatch it. On the SOSA Ohio website, sosaohio.com, we've got the Norfolk Animal Clinic scoreboard that's updated nightly. I know there were a couple games on Sunday, but most of the time it's updated throughout the week pretty often. We thank Glow Fiber for our internet access. Check out the sports card studio that you're in right now. We have the Edward Jones Coaches Hotline. and then just, overall, we just really appreciate everything that, the coach is taking time for us. Christian Spradlin doing a really good job getting us set up. We're going to have to get him like a blinking sign or something that says exactly what's going on, because our hand signals are kind of the same across the board. But
I mean, you didn't mess any of them up. I mean,
exactly.
You guys were on the same page,
Yeah.
so I don't know why. We will just keep it the same.
Yeah,
we don't need anything extra.
I agree. So we also, last week, Nick Barrows came in and did a great job co-hosting the show as well. So glad to have you back. Glad you guys made it safe.
Yep, glad to be back.
Yeah, glad you guys got to see Jovi, which might be the cutest kid on earth. So.
Yeah, it's really cool to just watch her grow up. Funny thing was, they were watching the movie Elf the other day, and Buddy says, "Hi, Jovi," and Jovi looks up and just says, "Hi." I think that's the first time she heard someone else say her name, and especially on TV. So that was kind of a cool thing to see. But always good to spend time with family over the holidays, and but glad to be back.
Yeah, maybe we should have started off with that adorable story. That should have been the way we started the episode, because now we ended at its peak.
Well, that's good.
Yeah,
that's good. It's
always a good thing. Make sure as many people see that one as possible. So that was a great story. It actually just had a score come in from Mike Kindinger, P. Floyd. Marietta beats Bloom Carroll tonight. But it's just nice to hear from P. Floyd, because that means that he's watching us, and we know that he knows way more basketball than we do.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Another guy that just does a great job for promoting and giving recognition to so many student athletes, around the area.
Yep. So it's great to have as many people as passionate as possible. Make sure you follow our live streams, our updates, our socials and whatnot. SOSA Overtime presented by Perfection One will be out sometime on Monday, probably early in the morning around 9 when it normally comes out. So make sure you check that out with me and Shane Combs. But overall, we just got a lot of stuff out there. There's a lot of other live streams. Anytime you see any of our sponsors, try to make sure if you need them, if you need anything in those areas, to use those, because there are people that are helping take care and promote our athletes in the area as well. And any of those other live streams, when they have the sponsors running at the bottom, check those out as well, because even if they don't sponsor us, they're still sponsoring kids, and that's the most important thing. So for Christian Spradlin, for Matt Hoops, I'm John Bruce. You've been watching the Haines Total Healthcare Coaches Call-In Show, presented by Ohio Health and Southern Ohio Sports Authority. Have a great rest of your week.